Aloha all. Oh wow, talk about a voice crack. Aloha all. Welcome back to Let's Play Sly 2 Bandit Thieves. I'm Paper Mario Guy, and even though my voice is cracking, we are going to continue playing as Murray for the time being, going through the streets of Paris, because I kind of want to get Murray's little mission out of having to break all these sirens out first, because they can be a little annoying. And it's kind of more of, like, I don't know. I don't remember. I was about to say that I'm not quite sure if it's an actual mission or kind of just like an objective-based, like, go as you can. But looking over there, it seems as though it's an actual mission. So let's go check that out and see what we can do with that. When Murray gets spotted, it's actually not so bad, because he's so, like, strong and stuff, and he can kind of, like, deal with people accordingly. So I don't mind getting caught as Murray. I'm not so stealthy with him.
Okay, Murray. That alarm horn will tip off Dimitri during our heist. There are 3 of them out here, and I need you to take them out.
Check.
This is going to take some serious muscle, Murray. You're the only guy on the team who can pull this off. Stop to pick things up, then throw it at those alarm horns. Good luck, pal. This could get rough.
Evildoers feel my wrath.
So, glad that they, you know, Sly 2 has great pacing, in the sense that, like, it wasn't dumb about the way that they, like, set up their missions. Yeah, they weren't dumb about the way that they set up their missions, in the sense that, like, they basically show you how to do the mission before just, like, throwing you into it, which is, I don't know, really nice. You know, it's not like they just leave you high and dry to try to figure out how to destroy that. I mean, granted, they tell you twice that you have to pick it up and, you know, smash it, but, I mean, at least they didn't, like, reiterate the controls a second time, because that would have gotten a little annoying. But they have a nice sense of, like, I don't know, like, they baby you in this game a little bit, but at the same time, like, they only baby you once, which I kind of like. There's a certain appeal to having some difficulty, and I do think that if I were, and I'm not trying to, like, look at, like, flaws of this game, like, this early, but if I had to say that there's one thing, and I mean, it does get much harder later on, like, as we move on to more complex missions and new areas and stuff like that, but you know, it is kind of easy, and you'll notice as we move, like, we progress through the game, there's a nice improvement of the sophistication of, you know, the areas that you're going to, and, like, how well run they are, and I don't know, it gives a nice sense that, like, it makes you feel stronger, because, like, you're doing more as the game progresses. You know, it's not just the same cut and dry thing over and over again. You know, there's actually some room for improvement, which I like. I don't know what he's saying about the R1 button. I don't know. He's saying something about it. But Paris is a pretty short area. I would definitely say that it's the shortest of the multiple areas, because I'm not gonna say how many areas there are. But Paris is definitely the shortest, definitely the easiest, and, like, and I mean, like, as far as the missions are concerned, like, the missions are pretty easy, but, like, even in the sense of, like, the way that the Sly team, like, plans it, you can definitely see that it's, like, much easier. Like, the plan, like, I don't know, like, Dmitri doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, because to steal his clockwork tail feathers is so much easier than to steal the other, clockwork pieces from the other members of the Claw Gang. So, there's that. But now that we've destroyed all the, you know, the sirens, and we have no threat of, being caught when we were performing our big heist, we must now go back and switch to, well, what's his face? Sly. Because Sly is, the guy we need to do, or we might actually switch to Bentley, for being honest. So, as you can see, we can kind of just take those guys out with like a 1-2 punch with Murray, which is really nice. And the second that you defeat an enemy, like, pretty much your notoriety goes away. You know, the little alarm in the top left stops, which is nice. Oh, I can't play as Murray, or Bentley yet. That's not for a little bit. Oops. Spoilers. But, obviously, I mean, you guys pretty much knew by the fact that Bentley had a, what is it called? By the fact that Bentley had an upgrade available that we were going to play as him. And I went in the wrong direction. Silly me. So something I really like about this game, and I think I mentioned a lot in the first game, but I absolutely love the voice acting in this game. Like, there's always been a debate as to whether or not voice acting improves or hurts a game, and there's a lot of people who would say that it hurts, but I don't think Sly would be the same way if it wasn't for voice acting.
Hold it, Koopa.
Constable Neyla. Another policewoman hot on my tail.
Please, I led you here.
So that Claw Gang slip was a clue. Why are you helping me out?
I'm not as black and white as Carmelita. I know what a menace those clockwork parts are, and I don't want the likes of the Claw Gang putting them to use.
So what? It takes a thief to catch a thief?
Something like that. But if I'm going to trust you in this case, I need to know that you can keep up. Literally.
Literally?
Don't fall behind.
So we have this little, this is not even so much a trail mission as it is like a, I mean, maybe I guess you can consider it a trail mission. I don't know what you would consider this mission if you didn't consider it a trail mission. But it doesn't have the trail feel, even though you are technically trailing. So I don't know. It's like a faster paced, more fun trail mission. And we are delving into the first bit of Constable Neyla's character, you know, introducing her, adding a little bit of depth to her, which is kind of cool. I'll say it right out, like, Constable Neyla is a bitch, and I hate her, and you'll see why, you know, as we progress through the game. But she's just a grade A piece of, like, trash. Like, I hate her. She's such a scumbag, and, making me run around like I don't have the speed. It's insulting to me, you know? I took down the Fiendish 5 by myself. Carmelita couldn't do that. You know? No police force could have done that. Only me. What I kind of don't like though, while we're doing this mission, is that like Constable Neyla will actually like wait for you at certain spots. Like oh, what the hell? Oh. Yeah, well, okay, so I failed. Because... Alright, well, there's really no excuse for that. That was pretty bad. But... Alright, can I skip this? Yes. But... she'll actually, like, wait for you, which is kind of lame. And, I mean, if you wait too long, then she clearly ends the mission, which is crap, because I pressed the circle button, you know, trying to get on top of one of these ropes that are these, like, lamp holder things. And instead it, like, heat-seeked me to that other, like, metal pole that you would climb up. And that kind of screwed me over. So, we're not going to screw up again. Because that's not fun. Okay, or maybe we will. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. No, she's not that much farther ahead of us, so we're still good. Something, because I'm doing this the second time and we've already been through this, you've noticed that I've kind of been avoiding getting the clues, and that's because, just to make things a little bit easier to follow if someone's, you know, deciding to follow this along, with me, which, you know, I'm completely for, you know, by all means, use it as a walkthrough, but if I get all the clues at once, that makes it easier to follow along as like a guide for how to get all the clues. So that's why I am waiting, because I don't want to like I don't wanna like get like, you know, 4 or 5 in, you know, part 1, and then, you know, 6 or 7 in part 2, and then, you know, a bunch in the next part, and then, you know, it just makes it a lot more difficult to control.
Well done,
So
Suave. We should work well together.
Glad you approve.
Now, legally, I can't enter Dimitri's nightclub without a warrant. But I happen to have obtained the key to his back door, which a person like yourself can use however he pleases.
Oh, we are absolutely going to work well together.
yeah, until you find out she's a scumbag son of a bitch. But that is for, you know, something else.
Head on back to the safe house. If you can get this piece of fine art back to the safe house in one piece, we can sell it on ThiefNet for a ton of coins.
Yeah, alright. Thanks, Bentley. We've already been over how to sell fine art. I understand. So, there I said, like, I put in the description of my first, episode, I might have even said it verbally in the first episode, in the intro, that I was going to be going for 100% in this game, and I am going to still try and do that, but as far as, like, showing all the locations of, like, fine art and how to, like, get them back, I don't know necessarily about that, and I also don't really consider that 100%. When I say 100%, I kind of mean, like, I want to get 100% on my, the little, like, the little screen, you know how, like, when you complete a mission, it says, oh, like, 4% done. Well, that's what I want to do. So, I have not gotten this yet. Oh, we have to set it as Sly when we get to Sly. I gotta remember to do that. So, oh, that's gonna explode. Why would I do that? That was, pretty dumb. Pretty dumb of me, but whatever. So now we have our first controlling as Bentley. And Bentley is, probably my least favorite character to play as. Or, I don't know. I mean, Sly's clearly my favorite, but Bentley is more, like, he's a much weaker character. So, you have to, like, really employ stealth a lot more with Bentley than I think either of the other, you know, out of all the characters, believe it or not, I think that he is probably the one that you have to employ stealth with the most. But it's a different kind of stealth. It's more like a take your enemies out from afar and then sneak by them while they're, you know, incapacitated type of stealth, whereas Sly's kind of like sneak around them.
Okay, Bentley. To get past the laser fence, you'll need to blow it up. Press the triangle button to drop a bomb, and then get out of the way before it explodes.
But I mean, Bentley doesn't really have any strength or anything like that, so you're going to be using a lot of bombs. You'll also be, he doesn't necessarily have a binocular, well, I guess this is technically his binocucom, but basically what this is you press the right analog stick in, or R3, however you want to say it, and you press the, you press R1, and you actually shoot like a sleeping dart. And then you can go behind and use your little bomb, and that takes them out because that's pretty strong. And that's basically how you do it.
Hey Bentley, how you holding up out there in the field?
Fine, I'm just fine. I just need to bomb all the pillars supporting that disco ball and I can get out of here.
What's with taking out the disco ball?
Its impact will shake the nightclub's front peacock side loose from its mooring. Look, I can't talk now. I've got to keep moving. Keep safe.
So Bentley is paranoid as hell. But this is a pretty fun mission. And you can go pretty quickly with it. And it shows just like, I don't know, to me this is a pretty simple way to like overthrow one of the Claw members. Like, you'll realize how important, like, blowing up this disco ball is, you know, once we finish it. But, like, it's really a simple thing to do to really open up the ability to steal the clockwork part. So, that's what I was saying when I was referring to the fact that, like, things get a lot more sophisticated and a little bit more difficult as time progresses. But let's take this guy out. Guy reminds me of Wizpig for some reason. I don't know why. Because he's not giant and pink, but I don't know. He kind of has that boorish type thing going on. So, take this guy out from afar. Run over. Little bomb there, little bomb here. And bada bing, bada boom, Bentley is almost done with his mission. And I think we're going to have another meeting after this, which I really wish we wouldn't. Wish I could save that for the next episode, but whatever. Who am I to, I'm not a game director, so it's not my place.
Wow, Bentley. We felt that all the way back here at the safe house. And you were right. The peacock sign had half of its bullets pop off on impact.
Good job, Bentley. Good job. Alright, now we kind of have to make our way out, though. And thankfully, we took out all the guards, so that's not really that hard. And there's no lasers anymore, so getting out's really not too difficult. Oh, there's still lasers. Never mind. What am I talking about? It's still not all that difficult. Oh, especially because like you can take the hits, so it's not so bad. I think that's one of the reasons why Sly 2, I feel, is like significantly easier than Sly 1, is the arcade aspect of only having 1 hit or 2 hits, or at the most 3 hits, is, I don't know, it's a lot more significant than you would think, because hitting those lasers would have just killed me, and, you know, getting hit by an enemy would have killed me, and, like, the stealth element is still definitely there and prominent, but it's not quite as essential as it once was, because you can take the hits and you can get seen, and it's not as big of a deal because you have easily like 4 or 5 hits, and then when you take out the enemies, sometimes they drop health, so that makes it easier. So you can see kind of where like the new system of health hurts and helps. It makes things more fluent, and you don't really have to focus so much on like precision, but I don't know. It's kind of like take it or I don't know. I definitely like this method of gameplay better, but I can see both sides of the fence. But anyway, that does it for part 3. I'll see you guys all in part 4. So see you.
Money's